Hi everyone, thank you for joining me for today's video. Today I'm gonna be comparing the Everyday Minerals Loose Powder to the Everyday Minerals Press Powder. Now, the sample kits that we all get, this container is 1 gram. This container, as well as the press powder, these are all 8 grams. So with the sample kit, you can't get these press powders. So the most that you can do with the samples is to play around with the colors and formulas of the loose powder. So I have, in the loose powder, Fairly Light Foundation and Olive Fair. And in the press powder, same thing. It's Fairly Light. Here's Olive Fair. So the press powder, the containers are not transparent, so you can't really see the colors. You kind of have to rely on the text on the back. The press powders, you can kind of tell what the colors look like. They're all 8 grams, and right away you can kind of see that the containers are bigger. The loose powder containers are bigger because they're not pressed. The pressed powder opens up like this. It's a plastic film, and they give you one of these really thin sponges. I was using mine today, so. And the problem that I have with the press powder is that it comes out really easily. And it's really thin, like that. They didn't do a very good job gluing this, so obviously I'll have to re-glue it. And from what I have read from other people's reviews and from what I can see of this powder is that this press powder, it's gonna break very easily if you're not careful. If you want to leave it in your purse, you probably want to repress it. Otherwise, I think this is actually perfect if you want to leave it someplace, like at your workplace, or if you have an office or something. It's great just to have it there. It doesn't take up as much space as the loose powder containers. But as for toting it around in a purse, definitely consider repressing it, otherwise it will break. And when it breaks, believe me, it's going to be even messier than the loose. As far as the colors themselves, I got the same color. This is Fairly Light, and this is Fairly Light Loose. The pressed and the loose, basically the same color. So, same thing for the Olive Fair, pressed and the loose. One problem with applying with a sponge for the pressed powder, this is what they give you. I'm used to applying powder with a brush, and the problem that I have with this particular sponge is that it picks up a lot of product and it doesn't do a very even coverage. So if you're not careful, your face kind of looks like a birthday cake. What I recommend is, perhaps if you're going to leave a powder wherever it is that you leave it, either at work or someplace, it's not going to be much more trouble to leave one of these long handle kabuki brushes there. And this powder will go on so much smoother and so much more even if you apply it with a powder. Or if you're in a rush to put it on your face, you can also use this brush to kind of buff a little bit. So that's that for the pressed powder. The loose powder, if you tried the little samples, it's basically just a bigger version of it. Open it up. It comes with a sticker over these holes so it doesn't come out. when you use it, just peel the sticker off. And then basically what I do is you kind of cap it and then shake it a little bit. Or if you can't get enough powder, you can shake it like this. Open up, you know, use the brush and get it off the lid, and also get it off this. Sometimes the little holes do get a little clogged up. You can kind of clean it a little bit with a clean brush tip or with a clean sewing needle. Sewing needles might be a little bit too puny, so but you get the idea. So these powders are pretty much like the samples, if you ever try the samples. The powders themselves feel pretty much the same to me. The loose, for some reason, feels a little bit more silky. Oh, I have the loose in the Original Glow formula. So, to say which one I prefer, it's going to have to be, I personally like the loose better. It could be because I'm more used to it between the samples and other things. The pressed, I feel like I have to baby it a little bit because I'm afraid it's gonna break. And it's so thin, when I took it out, it could just kind of break in half. And that's not a good thing for a pressed powder, so. But this is still it's a good thing to have this, just to kind of leave someplace. If you do your makeup at home, this powder probably isn't even necessary because you cannot carry this around in your purse, again, unless you press it. So, I like the loose better, but it's kind of one of those things, like which one do you really prefer and where you're actually going to use it, depends on what your needs are. So, that's all for now. If you have any questions about these colors, or if you want better pictures, my camera I know doesn't do these things very much justice, but yeah, if you have questions and comments, feel free to contact me. Thank you for watching.